Leon Edwards is a professional MMA fighter from the United Kingdom who was born in Jamaica. He is currently participating in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC welterweight division. But aside from being an MMA legend, what else do you know about him? So stay tuned to find out more about Edwards' personal information, including his age, height, weight, wife, salary, and other earnings, as well as his net worth and salary. To begin with, let's look at Leon Edwards' biography. Edwards was born in Jamaica, but migrated to England when he was 9. When he was 17, his mother enrolled him in a mixed martial arts club in the hopes of diverting him from a life of crime. In 2010, he began his professional mixed martial arts career. He competed in the Bushido Challenge 2, A New Dawn, for the first time. He defeated Carl Booth in the second round by submission. Following that, Leon Edwards began competing under the Fight UK MMA banner while bound by a contractual agreement. In his first bout, he defeated Damian Zlotnicki via a technical knockout in the first round. He departed Bout UK MMA with a 2-1 record in fights. He then competed at Strength and Honor 14 and BAMA before signing with the UFC. Edwards debuted in the UFC in 2014. His debut match against Claudio Silva was a loss. Following that, he won his second and third races before losing again. This time he was defeated in round 3 by Kamaru Usman, and the result was unanimous. After the bout, he may have a record of 8 solid wins. The British martial artist has competed in 23 fights thus far, winning 19 and losing 3. Furthermore, he is presently rated second in the UFC's welterweight division. Moving on, Leon Edwards' net worth and salary. Although Leon Edwards did not receive any particularly substantial payouts during that time, he has amassed a phenomenal net worth of $4 million. This is of course mainly due to Edwards' achievements while competing in the UFC octagon. Leon Edwards' estate is believed to be worth $4 million. His most recent fight against Belal Muhammad at UFC Fight Night 187 earned him $80,000. Because of the bout's location, his victory over Nate Diaz at UFC 263 resulted in the most significant payday of his career, $231,000. His earnings from his MMA career are slightly more than $1 million. These figures included post-fight bonuses, sponsorship bonuses, appearance payouts, win bonuses, and other forms of income. Following that, Leon Edwards' MMA and UFC record. Since his MMA and UFC debuts 6.5 years ago, Edwards has a professional MMA record of 19-3-0, 1 NC, and a UFC record of 10-2-0, 1 NC. Edwards' current winning streak cannot be broken, except for his bout against Belal Muhammad, which ended in a no contest. The British-Jamaican MMA fighter has won his last 8 fights in a row. His victims have included RDA, Gunnar Nelson, and Donald Cerrone, all well-known athletes. Claudio Silva defeated him in his first UFC fight on his debut night in 2014. His only other defeat came at the hands of Kamaru Usman, the current undisputed welterweight champion, who defeated him by decision at UFC on Fox 17. After accidentally poking his welterweight opponent Belal Muhammad during their bout at UFC Fight Night 187, the fight was ruled a no contest, and he was awarded a technical knockout victory. The attack was interrupted in the second round due to an eye poke. Next up, Leon Edwards' wife, brother, and endorsements. Leon Edwards keeps a low profile in public regarding his family. No wife or girlfriends are mentioned in any published papers or stories. He is nevertheless the father of a 7-year-old boy named Jason. Jason's mother is unknown, and Edwards' right to privacy in matters relating to his family on any social media pages should be respected. He does have a brother named Fabian, who competes in Bellator MMA matches. Leon's pals claim to have given him the nickname Rocky, which he still uses today. It probably occurs after the Rocky films, in which Sylvester Stallone plays a boxer. There is no information on the businesses affiliated with and supporting Leon Edwards and the endorsements he has gotten. Moving on, Aspen Ladd's weight struggles continue with another failure in UFC Fight Night 210. Aspen Ladd's seemingly never-ending weight loss battle has encountered another snag ahead of UFC Fight Night 210. On Friday, Ladd, 9-3 MMA, 4-3 UFC, officially missed weight for the 3rd time in her UFC career and the 4th time in her career overall. She weighed 138 pounds for her women's bantamweight match against Sarah McMahon, 13-6 MMA, 7-6 UFC, 2 more than the non-title limit of 136. According to UFC officials who talked with MMA Junkie, physicians stopped Ladd's weight loss before she could empty herself, and no additional attempts will be made. The battle has since been cancelled. Regardless, it's a horrible picture for Ladd, who has a history of poor weight loss. Ladd missed weight in September 2018 and had a fight with Leslie Smith cancelled when Smith refused to fight an overweight opponent. She experienced a terrifying moment of trembling on the scale ahead of a July 2019 fight with Jermaine Durandamy, which she eventually made the mark for, but lost quickly by TKO. Ladd recently missed weight for a fight against Macy Chiasson in October 2021, which was scrapped. She later fought at women's featherweight for 1 fight, losing to Norma Dumont, before dropping back down. Before this last incident, she was promoted to women's bantamweight for a fight with Raquel Pennington in April. Following that, Sterling selects Cejudo's ideal comeback opponent to demonstrate his worthiness. Cejudo made history when he defeated Marlon Moraes to win the now-vacant bantamweight title after Dillashaw tested positive for EPO. After his first championship defense against Dominic Cruz, Cejudo announced his retirement. Cruz replaced Jose Aldo, who was away for 4 weeks. Cejudo was to face Aldo at UFC 250 in Brazil. However, due to the pandemic, the event was cancelled and merged with UFC 249. Marlon Vera knocked Cruz out in the main event of UFC Vegas 59 last month. On the other hand, Sterling has chosen Dominic Cruz to greet Cejudo's return to the UFC. When Helwani pressed Sterling on whether Cejudo should fight someone else before challenging for the title, Sterling suggested Dominic Cruz as an excellent, albeit challenging, tune-up. He should, in my opinion. After all, he isn't GSP. He faced Dominic Cruz on short notice. Now fight Dom and watch what happens. Cruz's choice to fight on such short notice indicates a very different situation. Dominic Cruz was slow, and he didn't appear in that one. And if you watch him recently in comparison to that performance, you'll see a significant difference in his performance. That was a last-minute fight. Put Dom through a rigorous training camp and watch what happens. Next up, Doc Haas. Jones should go back to 205. In a recent interview with the All-Star, Doc Haas, who now occupies the number 11 spot on the heavyweight ladder, addressed the prospect of Jones' arrival. Doc Haas suggested that pursuing heavyweight gold would be a mistake, citing the current generation of advanced and athletic heavyweights as evidence. The former 205-pound champ's lengthy layoff, and Jones may be knocked out. I think it's a bad time for him to return to heavyweight, especially with the type of athletic heavyweights in the category today, Doc Haas said. I believe he should go back to 205. I believe he has a better chance of keeping his legacy and continuing to be the fighter he was at 205 pounds rather than heavyweight. There are several people at heavyweight who could put him to sleep. Let's wait and see. Doc Haas, like many others in the division, remarked that if Jones is still looking for greener pastures, he would be delighted to welcome him to the heavyweight class. But first, the Philadelphia native must perform a duty. Doc Haas will want to restore his winning ways and contention against Jairzinho Rozenstruik at UFC Vegas 61 on October 1st. Doc Haas may be added to the potential Jones heavyweight opponents list if he wins a few fights in the coming months. Finally, Paulo Costa believes that middleweight is his long-term home. Costa stated why he doesn't need to jump up a category to avoid the tough weight cut to middleweight during an appearance on the MMA Hour. I can make 185 and put on an incredible show, Costa added. I feel fantastic, like a monster. When I make 185, I feel different than everyone else in this division. I know I could do 205 without stress, cutting weight, or eating a lot, but I can do 185 and be in terrific form, jacked and strong, so why not? Costa debuted in the UFC with 5 straight victories, including a win over previous title rivals Johnny Hendricks and Yoel Romero. His 13-fight winning record to start his professional career ended when Adesanya knocked him out at UFC 253. Following the events of his bout with Vettori, UFC President Dana White stated at the time that Costa would need to return to light heavyweight. This did not occur, and Costa remains a middleweight contender. Costa is looking to re-enter the title race with another victory. He has one more fight on his UFC deal, and it's uncertain whether he'll be re-signed in the coming months. If Costa returns to the UFC, he appears dedicated to pursuing another middleweight title chance. While many will continue to doubt Costa's ability to trim 185 pounds continuously, he seems to be in excellent physical and mental form following his UFC 278 victory. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.